the waterboarding, the endless waterboarding. Apparently the memos even described in details how a contraption was built so that the waterboarder could have a prisoner lurch forward if he is no longer breathing. In other words, he's about to die, and the contraption goes, oh wow, this guy's about to die, and boom, throws him forward. Must be a very pleasant experience. Now, again, if I picture that happening to a U.S. troop, I get so mad, and it's an obvious violation of the law, and they knew waterboarding was torture, and they allowed it. But they didn't just allow it, and they didn't just describe different mechanisms for how to prevent death at the last possible moment. And by the way, they were also proud that they had doctors ready to perform emergency tracheotomies if necessary. So in other words, they realized that this could devolve to the person is about to die, so they have a doctor on the side. And they view that as, hey, look, we're being so humanitarian. We got a doctor in case we push you over the edge and you die. Maybe he can revive you. Now, how many times did they do this? Well, it turns out with Abu Zubaydah, they did it 83 times. But if you think that's bad, wait till you get a little Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. They, in March of 2003, waterboarded Mohammed 183 times. Now, that leads to several questions. One is, wait, I thought waterboarding worked. In fact, a former CIA interrogator said that Zubaydah confessed within 35 seconds after he was waterboarded. Well, if that's true, why did you waterboard him another 82 times? If he gave up all his information within the first 35 seconds, then why continue to waterboard him? Well, there are only two possible answers to that. One, you knew you weren't getting any more information out of him, but you got a thrill out of it. And you thought, hey, you know what, why not keep doing this pointlessly? Or, the second possibility is that you didn't really think it worked the first 182 times. I thought that you got critical information from this immediately and that no one could resist waterboarding. So, again, I've got to ask you, did Khalid Sheikh Mohammed resist and not give you information or give you enough information because it didn't work well enough the first 182 times? No, there is something obviously sick and depraved about this, and the guys who wrote these memos absolutely knew that they were evading the law. And the idea that they thought, hey, if you don't tell me which kind of insect you're putting into the coffin, hey, then it won't be illegal, is absurd. Because then under that hypothesis, you can get anyone in the Justice Department to just write any damn memo they like. Oh, yeah, sure, smashing a guy's nose. Well, they already smashed his head into the wall. Well, let's smash his nose and break it. What difference does it make? I'm declaring it legal. If the president can do it, it's legal. If the president says it's okay. Now, there are consequences. The CIA agents did this. Sometimes non-CIA outside contractors did it. The Justice Department and many administration officials authorized it. And, of course, eventually and ultimately, Cheney and Bush authorized it. So, what is going to be done about that? Well, number one, Barack Obama has announced that none of the CIA agents that actually carried this out will be prosecuted. Now, some on the left are very angry about this. I understand, because they have a good case to be made where, Representative Schakowsky, for example, says, I was just following orders is not a very good reason for people to be given immunity on torture. We've heard things like that before. Now, for my purposes, I think prosecuting the guys who were following these orders, no matter how heinous they were, doesn't serve a great deal of purpose. And I think Obama struck the right compromise in that sense of it, okay? Because otherwise you're going to have CIA agents saying, well, look, the Justice Department told me it was legal, but I'm not sure I'm supposed to do it or not do it because the Justice Department told us under the Bush administration that things were legal and then we got prosecuted anyway. That's a really bad precedent to set. And it's not their fault. They were given orders. And now you can say, hey, they should have quit the CIA. They shouldn't have followed those orders. And you got a good case to make. But I'm not worried about the guys who followed the orders. I'm 1,000 times more concerned about the guys who gave the orders. Now, that is where we have a problem with the Obama administration. So far, they have not ruled out prosecutions in that regard. But every time they're asked, they say, we don't want to look backward, we want to look forward. Well, under that hypothesis, every single crime would be just fine, hunky-dory. We couldn't punish or convict anybody on any crime because we're looking forward, we're not looking backward. The crime happened in the past. You don't want to look in the past. Now, Obama can't have it both ways. He can't say, hey, you know what? It would be embarrassing to the country and not a good idea to look backwards and prosecute some of the top members of the Bush administration, possibly including the vice president and the president. That would be an embarrassment to the country, so we can't do that. We have to look forward. And he can't also say, hey, you know what, the guys who we actually know did the torture, carried it out, we can't prosecute them either because they were just following orders. So who do we prosecute for something that is clearly illegal? And their answer is, at this point, not a damn soul. And that's just not right. So I have an answer. It's not the guys who followed orders. It's the guys who gave them and wrote these memos. It's not a complicated answer. It's an obvious answer. So when Bybee and you and Addington either authored these memos or helped to author these memos, and Gonzales, Cheney, and Bush authorized these memos, did they break the law knowingly? Absolutely.